My death waits like a Bible truth at the funeral of my youth. We drank for that in the passing time. My death waits like a witch at night, as surely as our love is bright. You know what David Bowie'd say if he was here right now? I'm all right, Jack.
If you can move your head a little to the right there for me, Jonesy. I mean, David. I mean, Mr. Boy. I mean, Jack.
Give me your head before you start professing that you're knocking me down. And that was the last time Brian Eno ever lit one of his own farts. I remember Tony Visconti once said to David Bowie, "Act natural." Think about that. Act natural. In many ways, David was my most enduring character.
He certainly was.
So enduring that perhaps people forgot he was a character. You know how David Bowie used to, spell character? I mean, I sort of think of David Bowie as the spine,
What does that make Ziggy?
The fibula. Oh, wait, was it the tibula? No, Ziggy was definitely the fibula.
And Major Tom?
The metatarsal, obviously. I never thought I'd need so many people.
And Jack?
Jack isn't really a bone. More like an appendix. You don't really need it. But it's there anyway, and besides, an appendix appears near the end. Don't deceive with belief. Knowledge comes with death's release.
And what about the two? Bit alright to be drinking.
Oh, don't worry about them. They just glide in and out of life. They never die. They just go to sleep one day. All the world's a stage. Do you know who said that?
Shakespeare?
No, Mr. Sidcup, my English teacher in Bromley Tech. I'm falling, man. I'm choking, man. I'm fading, man. Just killing a little time.
What are your plans for after this?
Put it this way. Cyprus is my island when the going's rough.
Oh my God, you never believe what happened yesterday. So we're in Asda, right, buying our fair trade organic turpentine. And Iggy says... Will you shut up and let me finish, you and your stupid bibbidi-bobbidi-boo hat? Anyway, buying our fair trade organic turpentine.
And you'll never guess what Jonesy says.
What?
Jonesy says, that's the horrible thing about getting old. Having to watch your friends die one by one.
Do you realize it takes 121 tears to fill a teaspoon? And I know because I counted them.
Jonesy, darling, tell her the story what happened this morning.
Go on, tell her. Tell her, Jonesy.
Tell her, Jonesy. Go on.
Tell her.
I was having the devil's own job haggling with this geezer over a biodegradable ball-peen hammer. No, not the Japanese ones. You know the ones I'm talking about. That's right. With the divot. Didn't buy it in the end. Almost came to blows,
Really?
I mean, I threatened him with the hammer that caused the fracas in the first place. Afterwards, sitting in Nando's, I said to myself, that guy was scum of the lowest order. And Pop said, you mean scum of the highest order? And we couldn't decide which was worse. I was handy with my feet. A decent left winger. I mean, I even wrote to the owner of Crystal Palace Football Club, asking for trials, But he never got back to me. I suppose that's life. Few of us ever really do get to pursue our dream. I know I didn't. You know what you should say, Jonesy, when you go out there? You should say, it felt like a part of me died. You honestly expect me to go out there in front of hundreds of Sky News viewers worldwide and desecrate the memory of David Brilliance Bowie? That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Jonesy, I was just...
The worst thing I ever heard. Besides a sound that Iggy made one night in a party in Osterplatz. But at least he had the excuse of not having slept for 29 days. Felt like a part of me died. For fuck's sake. I'm just gonna go out and de-soil. After everything I've lived through, I think my entire worldview could be summarized in one simple sentence. I remember it well. Hadn't slept for 6 days. By this point, the little green wheels looked more like red sails. My brain hurt like a warehouse. 6 straight days without sleep.
Tell us.
And on the 7th day, I went to a Turkish barber's in Camden Town and ordered a kebab. Sitting in a chair in front of a mirror, just like this one, was a man who said something so profound.
What is this?
It became the creed by which I lived my life. It's a throwaway line that never lands, but continues floating forever. The kind of sentence where form marries function for both love and money, like Bonnie and Clyde or Rumpelstiltskin.
Just tell us the fucking sentence.
For what is fire but the sun unfurling from the wood?
Is that the sentence?
No. It's like that, but much, much better.
Mr. Stephen, the questions?
Oh, no, not again.
Somehow you felt this morning when you heard the news.
Nah, boring.
Oh, please, Mr.
Please,
Gravedigger.
Mr. Gravedigger. Replaced her uniform with dresses silk and green. Called herself Eileen.
Remember, it's true. Dignity is valuable. But our lives are valuable too.
People talk today how he reinvented himself.
Sometimes I feel the need to move on. So I pack a bag and move on. There, job done.
Selfie!
You walk past a cafe, but you don't eat when you've lived too long.
Yeah.
Do you think my face looks a bit pixelated in that?
No.
You sure?
You're
You
fabulous.
look fabulous. Calm down. Jeez.
I'll go see if they're ready for you.
What's this? Ooh. And I'm gone, like I'm dancing with angels. And I'm gone through the crack of the past, like a dead man walking.
My turn, my turn. Heaven loves ya. The clouds part for ya. When I hear don't really like that one. Go again. No. You're a gift from the sun, a reincarnation of a better man. The homeward road is long. You have left your prayers and song.
They said the things to make it seem improbable, the wail of a lie, like they hope it was. Other one. He's a chameleon, comedian, Corinthian, and caricature, shooting up high in the sky.
Now my brother lays upon the rocks. He could be dead. He could be not. He could be you.
Fabulous, darling. Fabulous.
Mwah. Oh, it's time. We should be going.
Oh, they're burning.
Oh yeah, but it won't be for long. Plus the contacts really bring out the colour of your eyes. I mean, I bring out the colour of your... Oh Jesus, I don't even know what I mean.
I ought to report you to the gnome office.
Oh, stop and let me fix you. Fab. How good.
Better wipe their hand now, Jonesy. We don't want to do the biggest thing that we're drinking milk now, would we?
I remember David Bowie once requested the lower octave of an orchid sigh, delivered on a platter of reluctant semicolons, and he got it too. I think I'm going to miss David Bowie.
What is it, Jonesy?
I just have a bad feeling about this. I hope she doesn't screw it all up.
Who, the presenter?
Yeah.
How could she? She doesn't even know.
I mean, unwittingly. Call it something like, I don't know, fortune music. And my cover might be blown, you know.
You're just being paranoid, Jonesy. Relax.
2 minutes, Mr. Stephen.
Ooh, too late to be late again.
Darling, it would be fabulous.
Yes.
All right, Tone. Yeah. Now, it's all about the kick-off. Oh, you're watching. Yeah. Yeah, Lazarus. Yeah, got that right, mate. Strung out on Heaven's Eye. Yeah. Great, yeah, great. And Tony, don't forget, yeah, it's bingo this Thursday night. And they got really angry about it. I had to clip the wings of a few ruffled feathers. Oh well, you know what birds are like. Yeah, okay. Yeah, ciao, Tone, ciao.
Now, as I promised, we'll talk now more about David Bowie and his influence. Let's bring in Jack Stephen. He is director of Fortune Music.
It's actually Fortress Music.
Fortress Music.
Yes.
Do beg your pardon,
never
Jack.
mind.
Fortress Music, and worked as in the music industry as an executive in the Bowie era, and also Bowie's fashion sense we're going to talk about as well. It's influenced the era. And Lizzie Zeta, fashion stylist, is with. Welcome to you both. Apologies again,
No
Jack.
problem.
I mean, but perhaps first sum up how you felt this morning when you heard this news.
I was just saying earlier that I actually felt that part of me had died. I mean, I have to say that's how much an influence he is, I think, to me and to thousands and millions of people around the world. And strangely, I'm surprised. I sort of lived through John Lennon's death, Elvis's death, and sadly, this one's affected me more than any other. I mean, it's a very strange thing because I think with him, he was probably the first complete artist where he was involved in every single area of his career, whether it's photography, fashion, whether it was film, whether it was poetry, whether it was live work where he was very theatrical. I mean, his vocal influence, a lot of people don't know this, came from Anthony Newley, who of course was a musical artist. So I find it very, very sad today.
People today talking about how he reinvented himself, how he went with the times, but he led the times in so many aspects through the 70s, 80s, 90s.
He wasn't frightened of change, and so to him every album was a different persona, and so he loved doing that. So at one point he had Ziggy Stardust, next point he had Ed Insane. And he wasn't frightened of plagiarism either. I mean, he used, for example, the Hunky Dory photograph on the album was actually based on Marlene Dietrich, and so he wasn't frightened where he did, where he used his influence. I mean, he was hugely influential with me because I was A&R at RCA when he was sort of to the tail end of that. And I signed a band there called Eurythmics, which I was having terrible problems with. I mean, really, nobody liked them at the label. I mean, promotion didn't like them, press didn't like them. I mean, nobody did. My boss didn't really like them. He kept telling me that they were weird. And there was an artist liaison guy there called Tony McGrogan who sort of came up to my office, grabbed me and said, look, Bowie wants to meet up with you. Bring the tapes. So I always remember this, I brought The Walk and Love is a Stranger. And I sat with him and I played them to him, and he thought they were absolutely fantastic. And then, his words to me were very much, if you believe in it, fight for it. Because I have. I mean, that's what he said to me. And so I did, and it became hugely successful. And when the album went top 5, I got a telegram from him saying, thank God there's finally an A&R man with ears at RCA. Shame I've gone to EMI.
Will he be looked back on as the proper rock and roll star? I mean, did he live the rock and roll lifestyle?
Yeah, he did in his early days, absolutely.
In his early days.
But I mean, but he is the man that developed modern day music, the approach to modern day music, where you have to really understand every facet of media. I mean, he was very much like that. And, but he was a very funny man. He used to make me laugh.
And we're all of a certain age. Just finally then, Jack, Black Star, I mean,
Right.
do you see it how people are seeing it today, that this is his goodbye, that this was all pre-planned?
I think it is his goodbye, but I don't think he'll ever be forgotten.
Lovely to talk to you both, Jack, Stephen and Lizzie Zita. Thank you both.
Okay,
Thank you too.
In many ways, David was my most enduring character.
I actually felt that part of me had died. I actually felt that part of me had died. I actually felt that part of me had died. I actually felt that part of me had died. I actually felt that part of me had died. I actually felt that